Well, it's been a while, but I'm back. I've had some health issues going on with myself and my family that have kept me from coming back to give any updates. And I do have quite a few, so let's get started. So, just over a week ago, as of the filming of this video, I had not one, but 2 seizures over the course of the weekend. And they were grand mal seizures. Mine are specifically tonic seizures. Grand mals can be tonic clonic, which is first the rigid muscles followed by the shaking, jerking. I don't really do the shaking, jerking thing. I just do the rigid thing. And the only movement that you'll see is that I'm gasping for air. So there's kind of a general body movement there, but it's quite different than what I've seen from other seizures. But for my first seizure, my husband did actually call 911 because it had been almost a year since my last seizure, and he just was not prepared. He was pretty freaked out, and I did bleed a lot. So, because I always bite my tongue. Basically, seizure number 2, though, at around the same time the following day, he was a little more ready for it. And so, as I have requested before, instead of calling 911, he started checking the time, watching me, and grabbed the phone and started recording so that I could see what is actually happening. And then it gives us information for the doctors as well. So once I saw it, as disturbed as I was by it, I thought, that's the kind of thing that needs to be shared, because I have really found it helpful to watch the live footage of other people's seizures, because you really don't know what's happening. I mean, you're unconscious when it's happening, and what's going on with your body? Why do you feel this way afterwards? And why does it take so long for your brain to recover? So, and you'll probably hear I'm tripping over words still because my brain is still really foggy. There's a lot of healing to be done. I will show you the footage in a minute just to let you know, because I did bite my tongue twice, I did quite a bit of damage to it. So I don't know if you can still see it, but it is healing, but I expect there will be a pretty significant scar there to finish off the healing. So, but that's fine. I can talk now. That was another reason why I couldn't make any videos, because I couldn't even speak. I couldn't eat, couldn't do much of anything. Even drinking water was difficult. But I'm getting better, and I do have a new plan for how I'm going to deal with things. I have to take things a little bit more seriously, I think, even than I have in the past. So I'll talk about that more after. I want to get to the footage now so you can see what it looks like for me to have a seizure. It's not pretty, I'll tell you that. And it's first thing in the morning, and I'm growing out my short haircut, so it looks pretty nasty, just so you know. And yeah, you can tell it's disturbing. The look on my face is disturbing. And also, I want to give a really big warning here. If you are squeamish about blood, you do not need to watch this video. I did bleed from biting my tongue. I had no other injuries, but there was a lot of blood coming out of my mouth. And although you don't see it so much on my face, you do see it down on the sheet below me, because I did lie down on my bed. So what happened was I had an aura. This happened exactly the same both mornings. I had an aura while I was brushing my teeth after I got out of bed. And I thought, this feels a little weird. I better just go lie down just to make sure. So I went and laid down on my bed, and both times had the seizure right there on the bed. So I made kind of a bloody mess 2 days in a row on my bed, sadly. But it also meant that I did not have any other physical damage to myself, which was good. So I'm glad I did go lie down at least. So here it is. And like I said, if you're squeamish, maybe you don't want to be watching this, but if you have seizures and you need to see what's going on, or you have a relative with seizures and you want to understand what it looks like and what they're going through, then, well, here it is.
Okay, when I came in, it was the same as yesterday. Arms locked, legs kind of locked. Just now she had trouble breathing, so I was gonna phone 911, but now she's breathing. You okay, babe? I got you, baby. Lord, will you please heal her? Lord, please heal her. Heal Janice. Lord Father, put your healing hand on her. Just heal her right now, Lord. You please regenerate her body. And just heal her, Father. You gotta stay on your side, baby. You gotta stay on your side, baby. Baby, you gotta stay on your side. Janice, you gotta stay on your side. You're okay. I've got you. I've got you. I love you. Stay on your side. Okay. You're gonna be okay. All right? Janice, do you know your name? Can you talk yet? Okay. Baby, I got you. Just stay still. Yeah, okay, you're gonna go on that side? Okay, as long as you're on your side. Okay. You gotta stay on your side, baby. I got you. I got you. Yeah. Hey, baby. Okay, so I found her, yeah, just like yesterday morning on the bed. I don't know what she was doing. If she made it to brushing her teeth or how long she's been here yet or what. You're okay, sweetheart. Yeah, just relax and breathe, baby. Okay, so she's calmed down now, at least for now. Breathing is not too bad. Legs have stopped twitching. Okay. Now, she was clenched. She couldn't breathe, like I said when I first walked in. But that only started for a little bit, so I think it was okay for breathing overall. I don't know if she bit her tongue again. The blood's just probably from yesterday's bite. Got the phone there. Okay.
And after that, my husband just put the phone down and let me just lie there and rest. So that's what I did. It's just pretty much lie there. And that's all you can do after a seizure. That's what they want you to do. Of course, my tongue was a mess. There was a lot that needed to be dealt with. But at this point, early on after the seizure, it's best just to lie there. And thankfully, I didn't hit any major blood vessels. So the bleeding was not as bad this day, which was day 2. Thankfully, because it was close to needing stitches, I think. And I do definitely remember this part, just lying there, keeping everything in a really still position, and of course being completely out of it, just being so exhausted and not really wanting to move or think, and really not able to think or do anything. At that point, I never did forget my name. I know some people do, but beyond that, I really didn't have much going on. I'm sure could not have told you what day it was or anything like that at that point. So you could see that I was definitely out to lunch. I did not know what was going on. You can see originally there's footage of me in the actual tonic seizure, and then starting to come to. I kind of jerked into the postictal phase, which is the phase that comes right after the seizure. You spend about a half hour completely out to lunch and just really out of it, trying to figure out what's going on. You want to get up and go and do things, but you don't know what's going on, and it's very, very disorienting. So my husband was able to catch both of those on footage, and I'm glad that he did. After the second seizure there, I actually just stayed in bed, and we loaded up our church online service, and we just watched it right there lying in bed. So that was actually a really good way to just try to recover and slowly get to a point where I could get up and move around again. And obviously I couldn't speak. I couldn't really do much of anything. So that was good to have. But it was a tough time and very disorienting. And I would say that I'm still pretty far out of it. We're trying to figure out what my triggers are. And one of them we're thinking is that was the harvest moon weekend. And so it's possible a lot of women have seizures specifically because of hormones, so around full moon. And so I do have, my hormones have some issues, so I think that could be a factor. I'm also fairly recently weaned off of the lamotrigine, which I have another video about if you're interested. And although I weaned slowly, I tapered very slowly, I did micro dosing by the end, I did push it a little bit fast. I just did very small increments, small amounts. And it is possible that the withdrawal, which you still go through anyway, could have been enough to trigger seizures, especially 2 in a row like that is kind of weird. And even at the hospital, the doctors did say that's a possibility. So it could be a withdrawal seizure for me. If anybody's going to get a withdrawal seizure from that horrible medication, it was going to be me. So that's a possibility too. I had been looking at different ways I'm going to deal with this. Obviously, medication is not an option for me because I can't handle it. I have so many other health problems. Let's put it that way. My body cannot handle drugs like that. I had so many side effects that I can't live on it. It's not possible. So what I have to look at is natural options, and the most obvious one would be diet, of course. So I already had been eating on the paleo low carb, Walls level 2-3 kind of side of things, and that wasn't going quite as well as I had hoped. It was okay, but I was having a hard time with it, just trying to get enough vegetables in, and obviously it did not stop me having any seizures, which I know it's not intended to, but you would hope with being, because I'm pretty low carb, I was for months, that you would think that that would be enough, but for me it wasn't. So what I decided to do, even in my brain fog and everything, is something that I had been researching for about a year now, and that is the carnivore diet. So I am working my way onto that. I'm already very, very keto level right now. I'm checking to make sure, lots of ketones, and hoping that that will be enough to get my system in better shape and that certain things will heal. I have so many health problems. I really do. I don't talk about them here much, but I have a lot of different things going on in addition to the seizures and the MS. So been really kind of interested in seeing all of the stories of people who are finding help with their autoimmune conditions and with epilepsy even by doing carnivore. And of course, if you are familiar with that diet at all, you've probably seen Michaela Peterson's TED Talk or some other videos and interviews. She's done a lot of interviews too, so there's a lot of interesting information out there. And she's just found carnivore to be absolutely life-changing for her. And in particular, I think she coined the term lion diet, which is basically just ruminants, just beef, salt, and lots of fat and water. And that's pretty much it, right? So it's extremely strict, and I can understand why it has to be, because you're looking at cutting out all of the things in your diet, which I would say I don't think plants are going to kill people. I know some people like to say stuff like that. I wouldn't go that far, but I do think that we are focused too much on plants, and also that our plants are full of garbage. They are just, when you look at how they're grown, and when you look at how much you have to pay for just simple, normal plants that aren't covered in harmful chemicals, that aren't GMO, the normal real stuff, that stuff's way too expensive for most people to afford anymore. So our bodies are full of all of these poisons, these harmful chemicals they're designed to kill bugs and other things, right? But the problem with that is that means they can kill us too, in larger quantities as we keep taking them. It's a kind of a slow killing. So when you look at diets that we have recorded throughout history, then definitely meat is a pretty common one, meat and fish. And yes, bread for sure, real bread, not like what we get in North America. We get all the GMO stuff, that's not real bread. But it was a part of the diet, but I really don't think bread used to be a normal part of most diets, like a regular huge part of it, like the main thing, the staple that it is now for most people. It certainly was for me years ago before I quit gluten. I think that there's differences for different people groups, depending on where you live and what grows there. There's different options. So some people really can only do the ruminants, and some people can do only chicken or turkey or whatever. There's lots of different, I have friends who are allergic to different kinds of meats. So those would not be an option, including beef. One friend who was allergic to beef, she could not have that as part of this diet if she wanted to do it. So we have to really look at what works for us, and that's where I'm at, is trying to figure out what works for me. And I am the kind of person who I like meat. I like fatty meat, so that's good. I'm working hard to make sure I'm getting good high-fat content. I am avoiding dairy and egg. I hope one day I can start to bring egg yolk into the mix, because I do love eggs, and I did not test as having any problems with egg yolk. Egg whites I do have a problem with, and dairy I can't have either. So, but I am going to focus for now on carnivore. So variety of different meats and fish. And from there, then I would like to move into the ruminants and really focus on that. And I'm just continuing on with having organ meat once a week. That I've managed to get that into my diet, so that's what I'm going to keep on doing. So I'm kind of happy to at least have that. I'm not 100% carnivore yet as of today, though, because I still have a few things that I need to eat up that are still, they're reasonably low-ish in oxalates, and we spent money for them. Like my pate that I made out of the liver does have a little bit of nuts in it because I had to make a special kind of cream for it and whatnot. So it's not completely 100% carnivore, but it's, moving in the right direction. So, and we've been able to take back quite a few grocery items that we had stocked up on recently, but the stores will take them back and haven't been used, they haven't been opened. So glad to get some of that back. And I'm really hoping maybe I will rub off on my husband and he'll start eating more this way as well, because I think it would be good for him too, even though he doesn't have health problems like I do. But, it's a healthy diet, and it is easier when we're all eating kind of the same thing. So that would be nice too, but one step at a time. And right now for me, it's just about trying to get these seizures under control. I am going to see a functional medicine doctor in a few weeks, and hoping to get some more direction there too, figure out exactly where I should be going with any kind of supplements, and hopefully I can get her really on board with the carnivore and lion diet concept and work with her, because functional medicine is so much more open to actually, working with you, as opposed to just telling you this is how it is, that's my training, and it's done, I don't want to know anything else. So hopefully I can, have a sort of a partnership with this new doctor. I think it's probably going to go really well, and I hope so anyway. So that's my update, and I think I will want to start to, if I can, do more videos just about how it's going with me with the carnivore. And I'm hoping I can be 100% carnivore probably by next week. I think I should be able to. I'm also trying to use up, a little bit of herbal tea, for instance, that's really low oxalates, but it has a little bit, and I want to ease off my oxalates so I don't have a huge oxalate dump, because there's a lot of things that could be really uncomfortable about that, and I'd really like to avoid causing any more problems for my health. Looking forward to seeing things like improvements for my psoriasis, for my MS, my sleep. I have insomnia I've had for pretty much my whole life, and there's a lot more stuff that I would want to bring up, and hopefully will improve. Acne, I know lots of people find carnivore helps with acne. I have adult acne, so I would love to see that ended, especially after still recovering from this drug, because it made it a lot worse. It made my skin a lot worse, caused all kinds of problems. So there's a lot. It's really an uphill battle right now, but I am optimistic. I'm excited to do these things. I'm enjoying watching all the videos from these doctors and learning how to use this way of life. I love the freedom, hoping to get down to 2 meals a day. That would be awesome. And, just to have such simple food and not have to constantly be stocking up on vegetables, that was driving me nuts. And it's so expensive. It's so expensive. So I'm really glad that we don't have to keep on doing that. And we'll see what happens down the road, whether I can add in a little bit of fruit one day or anything like that. I want to keep open to that. I am a hardcore stick to it kind of person, but at the same time, I don't want to get so stuck that I'm not thinking about it anymore, and I'm not considering the things that might be useful to improve on it. At the same time, I'm extremely cautious because I don't want to ever have another seizure. I've had more than enough of those, and hopefully they will be done now. I did have an aura, I think it was an aura, last night, actually. Just had a weird sort of slight deja vu feeling. I didn't get the weird wave washing over me like I'm gonna pass out. I usually get that with it, and I didn't, so maybe that's why it was sort of like an almost aura. Or maybe it's just that my brain was that far out to lunch, because I'm getting a lot of weird feelings and things going on because of everything that I'm going through between coming off the lamotrigine and then the seizures themselves in my head and all this stuff. There's just a lot of, a lot of things misfiring in my brain still that I hope will settle down. And I'm really hoping that just feeding it all this fat is going to help improve it over and over time, so that I'm just more functional. I don't know when I'm going to drive again, if ever, but I was excited. There was a possibility I was going to be able to start driving in December, so not long from now, but that ship has sailed. That's not going to be happening, and I'm guessing it's at least 6 months before we can make a decision about whether I could ever drive again. And even then, I have to decide if I want to ever drive again, because as horrible as seizures are, and as horrible as never driving is when you live in a place where there's not even a bus to take, having a seizure in a vehicle and hurting someone else is worse. Like, there's no way I would ever want to do that. So there's a lot to work through, a lot to think about, a lot to learn. And this is just the beginning of my journey when it comes to this way of life with carnivore and lion diet. So thank you for watching, and feel free to ask questions if you have any questions about seizures or about the diet, or if you want recommendations to some different videos to watch or websites to follow or anything like that. There's some great online groups too where you can talk with people about what they're eating. Then let me know, comment, and also love your suggestions, especially if you have been doing keto, carnivore, lion, ketovore, whatever that range is, what's been working for you and how well it's been going. So take care, and thank you for checking this out today. Hopefully there'll be lots more for you coming down the road really soon. God bless.